Dr. Elias Thorne, 42, stood in his opulent executive office at Thorne Associates, the city's most prestigious architectural firm. Only his meticulous control matched his reputation as a visionary in urban planning, especially over hiring. He'd built his empire on design synergy, a euphemism for a homogeneous team sharing his elite background and conservative aesthetic. For Elias, diverse perspectives only complicated smooth execution. "We have 12 candidates for the lead urban planning architect position," Elias announced his assistant, Benjamin, placing portfolios on the polished obsidian desk. Elias scanned each resume with algorithmic precision, filtering candidates based on unspoken criteria that ensured his firm maintained pristine professional standards. He bypassed anything hinting at a non-traditional background, dismissing it as unaligned. "These two meet our requirements," Elias stated, sliding 2 portfolios, from Mr. Alistair Finch and Miss Clara Vance, across the desk. Both were from prestigious, long-established families mirroring his own background. He ignored others with groundbreaking designs. His 10-year-old son, Noah, played quietly in the corner office. "Dad, why do all the people in your big pictures look the same?" Noah asked innocently, pointing to framed photographs of Elias's celebrated projects and the predominantly white male faces of his firm's senior partners. "Noah, we hire the most qualified architects, regardless of their background," Elias recited. A progressive-sounding phrase thinly veiling his systematic exclusion of professionals he deemed culturally discordant. This allowed Elias to maintain his self-image as objective, rather than acknowledging the pervasive biases shaping Thorne Associates into a fortress of sameness. "Hey visionaries, so glad you're here. Before we dive into Elias's world, tell me, where are you designing from today? Drop your city and country in the comments. Your engagement fuels these stories. Let us know if you're seeing the lines of this story already." Elias's sprawling suburban estate mirrored his firm's aesthetic, meticulously manicured, traditional, and conspicuously devoid of anything suggesting cultural eclecticism. "Elias, your hiring standards have undoubtedly maintained Thorne Associates' unparalleled aesthetic cohesion," observed his friend, Miss Charlotte Davies, during their weekly dinner. "Avoiding the complications of broad diversity prevents the kind of creative conflicts that undermine a firm's signature style," Elias felt validated, reinforcing his belief that his selective approach eliminated unnecessary friction. "Exactly. Large-scale urban projects demand seamless teamwork, not endless debates over cultural sensitivity," Elias agreed. The absence of diverse perspectives in Elias's personal and professional life reinforced his assumptions. His morning rounds at Thorne Associates revealed his tendency to interact differently with staff based on race. He exuded warmth toward white colleagues while maintaining a cool distance from employees of color. "Mr. Peterson, splendid work on the Zenith Tower's facade last week," Elias said warmly to a white senior architect. His praise contrasted sharply with his interactions with Miss Lena Williams, the black junior architect whose innovative, sustainable designs for public spaces had recently won an internal competition but received only a perfunctory nod. "Miss Williams, please ensure all your renders are to exact specifications," Elias said curtly, focusing on technical compliance rather than acknowledging her talent. During staff meetings, Elias's subtle bias was evident in seating and conversation patterns. "Mr. Thorne, the new lead architect candidate, Miss Anya Sharma, is here for her interview," Benjamin announced, referring to the application Elias had dismissed due to her focus on community-centric design and indigenous influences, concepts he deemed too niche. "Cancel the interview, Benjamin. We've filled the position with more suitable candidates," Elias replied, maintaining his pattern of exclusion. Noah quietly observed his father's professional interactions, unconsciously absorbing lessons about appropriate workplace dynamics. Elias's carefully controlled world shattered when Noah collapsed during a school field trip requiring emergency cardiac surgery. The only surgeon available with the highly specialized skills to perform such a delicate pediatric procedure successfully was Dr. Lena Williams, the very black junior architect Elias had overlooked and subtly sidelined. "Mr. Thorne, your son needs immediate cardiac intervention," announced Dr. Evelyn Reed, her grave expression conveying the life-threatening nature of Noah's condition. Panic overwhelmed Elias. He realized Noah's survival depended not on his control over hiring, but on pure medical expertise. "Who's the best cardiac surgeon available?" Elias demanded, his parental desperation overriding his usual concerns. "Dr. Lena Williams from City Children's Hospital," Dr. Reed replied. "She specializes in pediatric cardiac emergencies and has the highest success rate in the region." The name struck Elias with a jolt of recognition and shame. Lena Williams. Not the surgeon he knew, but the architect he'd dismissed. Now, she was his only hope. "Is she available immediately? Can we arrange an emergency consultation?" Elias stammered. "She's already en route. Dr. Williams never refuses emergency cases involving children." Elias watched through the operating room windows as Dr. Williams, clad in sterile surgical scrubs, prepared to save his son's life. This was the woman whose talents he had deemed unworthy. Her calm confidence and methodical preparation revealed an expertise Elias had blindly overlooked. "Mr. Thorne, Dr. Williams wants to brief you on the surgical procedure and risks," a nurse announced, forcing Elias to interact directly with the woman whose qualifications he had rejected due to prejudice. Elias's conversation with Dr. Lena Williams before Noah's surgery revealed her exceptional medical knowledge and genuine compassion, challenging every assumption he'd made about professional competence based on racial stereotypes. "Mr. Thorne, Noah has a complex congenital heart defect that requires delicate repair," Dr. Williams explained with calm authority. "What are the risks? What's his prognosis?" Elias asked, his professional control replaced by raw, paternal vulnerability. "The surgery has a 95% success rate. I've completed over 400 similar procedures with excellent outcomes," Dr. Williams stated, deeply impressing Elias, despite his previous assumptions. "Dr. Williams," Elias began, strained. I need to ask, why are you helping us? My firm, we rejected your architectural application just last month, didn't we?" "Mr. Thorne," Dr. Williams replied, her gaze steady. "Children's lives matter more than administrative politics or professional slights. My commitment is to my patients, always. That's why I entered medicine." Her response highlighted her unwavering integrity. "I appreciate your willingness to put Noah's needs first, Dr. Williams." "That's what doctors do, Mr. Thorne. We serve patients, regardless of circumstances that might complicate our personal or professional relationships." Elias felt profound shame regarding his hiring decisions, yet overwhelming gratitude for the expertise he had rejected. Dr. Lena Williams' surgical performance during Noah's operation was a revelation. Her extraordinary medical skills and unwavering dedication had nothing to do with her race, everything to do with her character and training. "Scalpel," Dr. Williams requested quietly, her hand steady, concentration absolute. Elias watched from the observation deck as Dr. Williams worked with precision and innate talent he had dismissed. "Heart rate stabilizing," announced the surgical nurse. "Excellent. Beginning the valve reconstruction now," Dr. Williams responded, calm. "Noah's heart is responding beautifully. He's going to have a normal, healthy life." Her genuine joy about Noah's successful outcome revealed her authentic care. Elias realized Dr. Williams's expertise had not only saved his son's life, but restored possibilities for Noah's future. "Dr. Williams, I don't know how to thank you enough for what you've done for Noah. Seeing children return to normal, healthy lives is thanks enough. That's why I became a pediatric surgeon." How's this story hitting you so far? Are you seeing Elias's world cracking open? Tell us in the comments if you're hooked. Type yes if you're loving it. No if you're still on the fence. Your thoughts keep us going. Elias's growing respect for Dr. Williams faced fierce resistance from his professional circle. "Elias, I understand your gratitude, but don't let emotional responses override professional judgment," warned Mr. Julian Vance during a meeting. Her design philosophy is simply not Thorne Associates. Julian, Dr. Williams saved my son's life using skills none of our current staff possess. Perhaps our hiring criteria need examination, Elias retorted. One successful procedure doesn't justify compromising the institutional aesthetic, Julian pressed. The conversation highlighted the deep-seated resistance to acknowledging their hiring practices excluded superior talent. Miss Charlotte Davies echoed similar concerns during their weekly dinner. Charlotte, what if client comfort is less important than groundbreaking design? What if our emphasis on cultural fit prevented us from hiring the most brilliant architectural minds? Just be careful not to let emotion compromise the professional standards that built your reputation. Elias's parents also questioned his evolving perspective. Mom, maybe my professional relationships need complication if they're based on excluding qualified people for the wrong reasons. The pushback forced Elias to examine his changing attitudes. Elias's decision to personally thank Dr. Williams evolved into a brutally honest conversation about his hiring practices and unconscious bias. Dr. Williams, I wanted to speak with you privately about Noah's surgery and some realizations I've had about my administrative decisions, Elias said in the hospital cafeteria. How is Noah recovering? That's my primary concern, Lena replied. Noah is doing wonderfully, thanks to your expertise, but I need to address something uncomfortable about my previous hiring decisions. Mr. Thorne, what's troubling you? I rejected your architectural application to Thorne, associates based on assumptions that had nothing to do with your qualifications or talent. I realize now my decisions were heavily influenced by racial bias, disguised as cultural fit. Lena received his confession with understanding. I appreciate your acknowledgement, but what's truly important is how you'll handle similar decisions in the future. That's what I want to discuss. How do I change an institutional culture I've spent years developing based on the wrong criteria? Start by evaluating candidates based on their design competence, innovation, professional ethics, and potential for groundbreaking solutions, rather than cultural comfort or background assumptions. Dr. Williams, would you consider joining our urban planning department if I offered you a position as Chief Architect of Urban Renewal? Lena paused. That depends, Mr. Thorne. Are you offering because of my qualifications or because you feel guilty? Both, honestly, Elias admitted, but mostly because Noah deserves to grow up in a city where the best urban spaces are designed by the best minds, regardless of race. And because I know your mother, Dr. Clara Vance, was once a brilliant architect who also applied to Thorne Associates years ago and was rejected for similar cultural reasons. I saw her name on an old roster. I want to right that wrong, too. Lena's eyes widened. Clara Vance, my mother. You know about her? I do, and I regret that deeply. Your mother was ahead of her time, and we missed out. I won't make that mistake again. I want you to bring that vision to Thorne Associates. Elias's decision to hire Dr. Lena Williams and implement genuinely inclusive hiring practices created fierce opposition from his firm's board. Mr. Thorne, this sudden emphasis on inclusive design represents a radical departure, warned board chairwoman Miss Penelope Sterling. Penelope, our current practices excluded the visionary who will now design the city's next generation of public spaces, and who also saved my son's life. Maybe an excellent reputation built on limited perspectives isn't actually excellence. But Elias, what if diverse hiring affects team cohesion? Our community deserves the best urban design available, regardless of our architects' backgrounds. Project outcomes and community impact should matter more than client comfort or a singular aesthetic. The board meeting ended without support for Elias's changes. Mr. Thorne, the board is concerned about your judgment, warned Julian Vance privately. Perhaps professional objectivity that excludes brilliant designers based on superficial reasons wasn't objective at all, Julian. Perhaps it was just systematic discrimination disguised as administrative policy. That evening, Elias called Lena to offer her the chief architect position despite opposition. Dr. Williams, I'm offering you the position of chief architect of urban renewal at Thorne Associates. Mr. Thorne, are you prepared for the institutional resistance? I'm prepared to lead change, Lena. Noah's life was saved by expertise I had rejected based on prejudice. I accept this offer with the understanding that we are both committed to building truly inclusive architectural practices. Elias's partnership with Lena required dismantling discriminatory practices and building an inclusive environment prioritizing design excellence. Lena, our project outcomes have improved significantly since implementing merit-based hiring, Elias reported. Your inclusive practices, Elias, are attracting the best professionals regardless of background, creating a competitive advantage through sheer talent, Lena affirmed. Their collaboration evolved into genuine friendship. How do we address ongoing resistance from staff and board members? We focus on our groundbreaking projects and their measurable impact. Results speak louder than rhetoric. Elias's relationship with Lena developed personal dimensions as they discovered compatible values, interests, and approaches to parenting. Lena, Noah asks about you constantly. He wants to know when you're coming over to build that skyscraper out of Lego again. I'd love to spend more time with both of you outside the firm, Elias. Noah is an amazing kid, and you're an impressive father. Lena, what attracted you to urban planning originally? I wanted to design spaces that served everyone. My mother, Clara, always instilled that in me. I wanted to create efficient, beautiful structures, but I realize now that efficiency without equity isn't actually effective. What motivated you to specialize in pediatric cardiac surgery, Lena? I wanted to give children the healthy futures they deserve, but I carried my mother's architectural dream inside me too, hoping one day to make a real impact on how people live in cities. Their mutual attraction grew from professional respect into personal affection. Lena, working with you has changed my perspective on leadership, design, and what constitutes meaningful success. Elias, you've shown me that people can evolve beyond their initial assumptions when they're genuinely committed to growth and positive change. Elias's presentation at the National Urban Planning Conference defended his inclusive hiring practices. I want to share results from our firm's transition to merit-based hiring that prioritizes design competence and community impact. Elias announced, our project satisfaction scores have improved by 28%, while staff innovation has increased significantly. Mr. Thorne, how did you address concerns about design cohesion? Asked Miss Penelope Sterling. We discovered that professional competence and varied life experiences create better design cohesion, Elias explained, and that diverse perspectives improve innovation. We even have a leading cardiac surgeon on our urban planning team, whose unique understanding of interconnected systems has revolutionized our approach to city infrastructure. He gestured to Lena. A cardiac surgeon? Penelope scoffed. Indeed, Lena interjected. My medical background taught me about intricate systems. These principles apply directly to urban planning. Our goal is to design cities that are healthy, resilient, and inclusive, just like a healthy human body, and it's working. Elias's presentation included testimonials from residents impacted by diverse design teams. Our inclusive approach has attracted professionals who choose our firm because we value excellence over exclusion. Lena joined Elias on stage, their partnership attracting attention. Dr. Williams, what advice would you give other institutions? Focus on building teams that reflect the communities you serve, and measure success through tangible impact and human well-being, rather than comfort with staff composition. The positive reception validated Elias's conviction that inclusive design represented architectural leadership. What a journey, right? Are your minds blown by that last twist? If you're still with us and loving this story, hit that like button and tell us in the comments what shocked you most. Type wow if you're amazed, thinking if you're still processing. We want to hear from you. 2 years after Noah's life-saving surgery, Elias and Lena celebrated their engagement at the iconic city park they had designed, a national model for inclusive urban spaces. Their professional partnership had blossomed into personal love. Lena, do you think Noah is ready for us to become a real family? Elias asked as they watched Noah play with Lena's daughter, Sophia. I think Noah has been ready since the day he first saw our designs for this park come to life, Lena chuckled. And Sophia has been asking if you're going to officially be her new dad for months. Their wedding planning incorporated their families, emphasizing their shared commitment to inclusive environments. Elias, what do you think our life will look like 5 years from now? I think we'll have built a firm that serves as a model for inclusive design, while raising children who understand diversity as a strength. Lena's eyes glistened. That would be a legacy worth building. Elias reflected on his transformation. Lena, working with you taught me that my previous hiring practices were limiting Thorn Associates' potential. Elias, you've shown me that institutional leaders can evolve beyond their initial assumptions when they're genuinely committed to justice and positive change. Their firm had become a regional model for inclusive urban development. Mr. Thorne, Dr. Williams, thank you for creating opportunities for architects like me, said Mr. Kai Sato, a recent hire. Kai, thank you for choosing to work with us. Our communities deserve access to the best architectural professionals, regardless of background, Lena replied. Their wedding took place in the park they designed, surrounded by those positively affected by their inclusive practices. As they exchanged vows, Elias promised to continue challenging discriminatory systems. Lena, you saved Noah's life and showed me that love and justice create stronger foundations than prejudice and exclusion. Elias, you've shown me that transformation is possible when leaders choose growth over comfort and equity over tradition. Their reception celebrated not just personal love, but a professional partnership that had created positive change for countless urban spaces. The last shot fades on the vibrant, diverse community enjoying the park, a testament to the power of inclusion.